Well, welcome to our 8th episode of Cooking in the Community Kitchen, where we create delicious recipes and have flavorful conversation. I'm your host, Judy Anderson, and today we're going to be cooking Lynn's overnight French toast, blueberry French toast. And I hope that you will join me in welcoming my guest, Lynn Much, from the Southeast Calgary Community Resource Center. Welcome, Lynn, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Judy, and thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. Well, you know what? We kind of get right at the recipe first, and I know that we can do a little multitasking. So I'm going to get you to start on the sauce, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And if you would like to just share with our viewers then how much of whatever you're putting in would be just perfect. Thank you so much.
2 cups of water. 1.5 cups of sugar. No, 1 3/4, sorry. I'm assuming that.
Perfect. So we're going to get our sauce going.
3/4.
That's a perfect 3/4.
Thank you, Judy. And 4 tablespoons of cornstarch.
You got it.
Whoops. We'll clean up after.
Yes, we don't have a cleanup team, so you do have to clean up after yourself. That's wonderful.
Okay.
So we're going to bring that to a boil, and then we're going to add our berries just sort of at the last minute.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I'm going to start with our casserole dish. I have taken a big French loaf of bread, and this needs to dry for 1 to 2 days. And so I found it much easier to actually cube my bread first and then set it out to dry. And I do recommend that you use a drying rack rather than just trying to put it even on a cookie sheet or in a bowl, because we really don't want it to go moldy. So I've taken half of my cubes and I've put it into my casserole dish that I lightly sprayed with the non-stick spray. And now I'm going to cut up my cream cheese. And we are looking for about that 1-inch squares, but I really don't expect anyone to get their measuring tape out and measure this all up. This is, this is supposed to be fun. It's summer. As you can see from our background, we're sort of celebrating Canada Day and the beginning of Stampede, and maybe just the opening up and perhaps getting life back to whatever our new normal is. So I am going to just cube this cream cheese, and then we're going to get the show on the road here. And it does take 2 packages of cream cheese. And so I'm going to just place them randomly over the bread. And I would compare this to the new version of the Christmas morning lifesaver from the Best of Bridge. We've been talking about some of our favorite inspirational cookbooks. And so, like I say, this is what would be my take on that, except that it's got way less ingredients and takes way less time to make.
My grandson Oliver loves
Christmas morning lifesaver.
He loves it, yes.
Oh, well, this one is so easy. A couple of weeks ago when we went camping, or as some of my friends refer to when I go out, it's glamping. I did take one of these so that we could have Saturday morning brunch.
Nice.
So it travels well, it's easy.
And was well enjoyed?
And it was well enjoyed by everybody. Good. And we didn't attract any bears. We attracted wild horses, but not bears, so that was good too. Okay. And so over top of my cream cheese, I'm going to just add a generous cup of blueberries. Just put them all across there. And then I'm going to add the rest of my bread. So we're going to sort of make that blueberry sandwich idea. And why I do suggest about the rack is that one time I did put all my bread in a nice great big bowl, and I stuck it in my pantry to dry out, and when I went to make my stuffing, it was all clumped together with mold. So it wasn't very pretty. And so I did learn my lesson, I guess, the hard way, so I do like to share that with other people then, not to get too carried away. So we've been talking about shopping local for our last couple of episodes. So we are going to use the Sparks eggs, local egg producer here, and we're going to put 12 eggs. As I do the eggs, Lynn, would you like to tell our viewers a little bit about how the Resource Center actually started? A little bit of history there?
Absolutely. So the Resource Center actually started 21 years ago as a volunteer organization.
Oh, okay.
Within the Milligan-Ogden Community Resource Center, and as it grew and got more funding, then it started to expand to other communities in the southeast.
Okay.
Yeah, and thanks to the innovation of some volunteers who went out and got that funding so we could do that.
Fantastic. And so could you just tell me to really your resource center, how far, like the demographics of people that you serve, please?
Right, and so it really depends upon the program. So for some of our funding, it covers Ogden, Linwood, and then 47 communities south, east. For our, Shirley's program, or Career and Employment, we actually serve anyone in Calgary who wants to come for that free service.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And so that is updating or putting together resumes or updating resumes as well?
Right, interview skills. So lots of folks who, especially during this time, who had worked at a job for 22 years and then got laid off, haven't had a job interview for a long time.
Okay.
So we do a lot of work with, just emulating an interview so folks can get that practice. And then just helping people do job applications, because that's the other thing. For lots of folks, especially during this time, it's a new job. It's a brand new world, right? Because everything is done on the computer now.
Exactly.
Right? And a lot of the folks that came to us had little or no computer skills at all. So we were very, very busy, and actually managed to help 127 people get full-time jobs in this economy.
Wow.
So and kudos to Shirley.
Oh, exactly. Well, Shirley is incredible as well.
Yeah.
She totally is. And then tell us about the other programs that you offer as well, please.
Right. So we have another program called Community Connections. And we help people that come to find housing with lots of emergency food, particularly in this time. Navigation benefits, so folks that need seniors that haven't got their benefits yet, or CERB, or those kinds of things. We have a counseling on site, which is very well used as well, because a lot of folks experiencing mental health issues at this time. We have a large clothing, small appliance room in our basement, and we actually had 2,700 visits to that room last year, even with COVID, even though we restricted to 3 at a time. And then we have a wonderful after-school program with a wonderful young man named Ram, who, so we have 14 kids in that program.
Oh, but this closet is just amazing in their basement, because there's children's clothing, men's, women, and are people restricted as to how much clothing they can take, or is it just like one outfit, or how do you work that through?
So normally it's 2 bags, so like 2 kitchen catcher bags.
Wow.
But if they come to us and they have a large family, or they're helping out a family, we're totally relaxed about that, right? And we trust what they say, and so we're open to them taking as much as they need. Yeah. What's really cool about it is it's totally run by volunteers.
Right.
So, and we're open every day from 9 to 11 and 1 to 3, and totally managed by volunteers.
Wow. Well, I'm going to go back to my egg mixture, and yes, I can just see what I did. I put a tablespoon of maple syrup instead of vanilla, so I'm going to backtrack here for just a sec. Put in my teaspoon of vanilla, and then 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup into my egg mixture here.
So just a small interruption. When this starts to boil, what do I do, Judy?
I think when it starts to boil, and once it becomes clear,
Oh,
then
okay.
we will pop in those berries.
Oh, okay.
Because we only want them just to kind of have a nice pop. We don't want them to get all crazy runny for our sauce.
Okay.
So here we go. And I did put just a little smidge of salt in here as well. And then we'll just see, I'm hoping that my beaters are gonna reach over here. Pardon me for a moment. And we're gonna just whip up these eggs. We had one guest where we were making whipped cream and we both had whipped cream all over us. So I'm really gonna try hard to be cautious that I don't get a nice egg mixture all over you. I don't wanna give you an egg and milk bath here. So that just takes a moment to whip those all up together. And then I'm going to generously pour this on top of my bread, my cheese, and my blueberries. So I do want to soak the bread the best that I can. And how do you feel that your team also just coped with the pandemic?
I think we did okay. We managed to stay open with restrictions except for 2 months.
Okay.
So then we did a lot of telephone and online work.
Yes.
But we were able to open June 22nd. So we did okay. I mean, lots more sad stories,
Yes.
you know, and tragedy that we weren't accustomed to, coming from a whole different demographic that we don't work with.
Right.
But we did a lot of self-care,
Okay.
and took some time during the week to make sure all the staff did that. So yeah, so we got through it.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, while helping a lot of people.
I know.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the key, is finding that balance between our own self-care
Yeah.
and then still being able to have the energy to serve all the people that we
Absolutely.
do want to look after.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just pop some plastic wrap over this, and then this needs to sit in the refrigerator overnight. We'll get back to the rest of the recipe in a moment, but first I want to quickly share something with you. Here in Alberta, 1 in 10 families struggle with food insecurity. That means 10% of our population has to make the hard decision between whether to pay their rent or buy groceries. No one should have to make that choice or wonder where their next meal is going to come from. The Community Kitchen started the Good Food Box program 20 plus years ago, and for as little as $25, anyone can purchase a 20 to 25 pound box of fresh fruits and vegetables for their family. The savings that we are able to provide, thanks to our produce partners, is about 50% of the price you would pay at the grocery store. But unfortunately, that sometimes still isn't quite enough. If you would like to make a donation and gift a Good Food Box to a family in need, visit the link in the description below and make a donation today. Help us make sure that families in Alberta don't have to choose between paying their rent or paying for groceries. If you would like to learn more about how you can purchase a Good Food Box for yourself or someone you know, we will also have a link to the Good Food Box program in the description below. On behalf of everyone at the Community Kitchen, thank you in advance for your generosity. Now, let's get back to the show. Well, I thank you so much for adding the blueberries into our sauce. I think it looks just absolutely perfect. They've just exploded a little bit, but they're not all a mess, so that's a thumbs up on there. Okay. So we'll see if my casserole, if I've got the same results here. So this just needs to be well set, and if it's a few extra minutes, then that's good. And I think this is going to come out okay. Oh, there we go. So we're going to plate this up. Now, if Sunday, our CEO, was here, she would probably reprimand me for using whipping cream in the can because she's Swedish and it's all about the cream. But I think we'll just give it a little generous topping because we are thinking now if we're camping or whatever, we're going to try to make this easy. We're going to add some of our blueberry sauce on here. And then maybe with Canada Day, we need to add a little touch of red. So we will add a strawberry on top. And then I think we are ready to plate and to eat. All right. Well, now comes to that time where we actually hopefully get to sit and enjoy and have a taste of our hard work. I think we'll just put a little bit of bubbly into our orange juice there, and we'll do a little toast to all the wonderful things that we are both trying to accomplish in helping and serving those that we really know need our help in these troubling times. So here's to good works and happy Canada Day.
Thank you.
I would just be also interested, Lynn, if you want to tell us a little bit about what is your philosophy, of helping those in need?
Right. And so it's really not very scientific or necessarily even data driven, but we really believe in the power of kindness.
Yes.
And so that everyone that walks through our door feels that kindness, feels the dignity and respect that we have for all people.
Oh, wow.
And we find it very powerful.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's not only an open door, but it's holding that door open for folks to come back again. Because we believe that not only are we the face of our organization, but we're the face of lots of social agencies, right?
Yes.
So if people are going to ask for help, that it must be done with kindness and dignity. And I think we've been very successful at it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not any big scientific research project we did or whatever, but it's just humanness.
But
right?
it's so much heart, so much
Yes,
heart
absolutely.
in that. Oh, that's incredible. And as you see things open up here, are you seeing that a lot more people then are coming? Maybe they're feeling a little bit more comfortable about coming for your services?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And we still have all the restrictions in place, mask wearing, sanitizing, 2 at a time upstairs in the lab, 3 downstairs. They need our services.
That's right.
Right, and so as safe as we can make it,
Yeah.
and as welcoming as we can make it, it's better for people.
Yes.
It's a whole new, to some degree, a whole new demographic that's coming. You know, we always serve folks that were on limited income or government assistance. We're seeing now folks that are coming it's probably the first time in a generation that they've had to come and ask for food.
Exactly.
It's very difficult for them.
Very.
Lots of shame attached to that. And so, so it's even more important.
Well, and we so love that you have become a Good Food Box Depot as well. And I love the fact that with the Good Food Box program, there isn't a means test. So that again, one more time when these people are at their low time in their life, they aren't humbled by having to prove their income or lack of income or just that history, right? It's there for them to be able to enjoy.
Our clients love the Good Food Box.
Oh, perfect. That's what we'd like to hear.
You know what, and it is about cost, but it's about variety, it's about accessibility, it's about this box I can take into my kitchen and it has everything I need in it, you know, and so we've had so much positive response to it, and I'm so happy that we can do it more than once a month, and I'm hoping that we can find volunteers to meet the needs of those folks that want a Good Food Box, but they don't have a car to drive to get it. Okay. So, yeah.
Well, if you don't mind also, Lynn, just sharing maybe your website or a little bit of contact information, we'll put that out there to our viewers. And hopefully somebody will just think, wow, I have a little extra time and I would love to deliver some Good Food Boxes, get to know people in a different area, and then to be able to just serve and bless them in that way. And so please do share the website with us.
Our website is www.secalgarycrc.ca, and that's the same as our Facebook.
Okay, perfect. Or they can always phone.
Yes, at 403-720-3322.
Oh,
Thank you.
Well, you'll love it. There's an amazing young gal called Heather that answers the phone,
Yeah.
and I know that she will just make you feel that warm and love coming right through the phone as she answers the phone and tries to meet your needs.
Absolutely.
So we thank you so much from the bottom of our heart for coming and being our guest, for sharing your desire to serve the people in your community, and again for being a good Food Box Depot coordinator as well. Thank
You're
you
very welcome.
very
It's
much.
been an honor.
All the best.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sunday Nordine. I'm the CEO of Community Kitchens. I'd like to thank you for tuning into this episode. If you would like more information or would like to give a donation, you could go to ckpcalgary.ca.